Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Winter is a good time to stay in the fall, but put me in summer and I'll be a
Happy Snowman. Welcome to my channel.
We're starting a new trend today. I'm going to talk about college, specifically my MIT application, which got me an admitted. Welcome, Verizon Wireless. I am recording your every move. You're recording? Can you restart? I've decided to improve my personality. Level completed. Alrighty, my dudes. I'm just copying every YouTube channel intro forever because I don't really have an original one right now. So welcome back. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Panusha. I'm gonna talk to you in like a dead voice like this because I don't really know what I'm doing and I feel really awkward, but we'll just continue with this rant. Alrighty. So, here's my MIT application, in case you were wondering. I'll just go right through it because I don't really know what else to do. So we're gonna start with the statistics. So they didn't really ask for my GPA, but I'll tell you anyway. So my GPA was a 3.96 unweighted and a 4.55 weighted, and I was in the top 2% of my class. Yeah. Okay, and then in terms of AP scores, that was the up song. In terms of AP scores, I took 11 APs. We weren't allowed to take them in my freshman year, so I took bio and stats in my sophomore year, got a 4 and a 5. In my junior year, I took chem, calc, English, French, and comp sci. And then in senior year right now, I'm taking physics, calc, English, and psychology. And I got 4 and 5s on basically all of them. But don't talk about comp sci for that one, okay? Thanks. Alrighty, we're gonna move on. So then I also don't want to waste your time, so I'll just run through this really fast. I took the SAT and ACT. SAT I took twice, got a super score of 1500, 800 math, 700 English, but I didn't really like that, so I took the ACT, and I got a 35 overall, and I got 35s in everything, except for science, which I got a 36, and then I got a 12 in writing. For subject tests, I took biology M, chem, and math 2. Biology got 800, chem 750, and math 770. Then they just went through our whole course load, like what we took every year, English, math, science, social science, and foreign language, blah, 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 blah. And then basically like your transcript version, I guess. And then they asked for distinctions, so I talked about non-scholastic distinctions. I said Gold Presidential Service Award winner, which I got my sophomore year. Selected as an Intel International Science and Engineering Career finalist in my sophomore and junior year twice. Second place in the Biomedical and Health Sciences in the Virginia State Science Fair, and a grand prize winner in the Metro Richmond STEM Fair in my sophomore and junior year, and also first place Medicine and Health winner in the Metro Richmond STEM Fair in my sophomore and junior year, and that qualified me to go to ISEF both of those years. Oh yeah, my spike was research, if you didn't notice. Okay, so next we did scholastic distinctions, and my academics were kind of average for like gotta admit. But scholastic distinctions I put down AP Scholar with distinction, Principal Scholar, which kind of went to the top 5% of PSAT scores. At my school, I was National Merit Commended. I got an English Departmental English Department Award in my sophomore year, and that's the teacher kind of asked for my recommendation. And then I was certified a Microsoft Office Specialist from the classes I took at my school. Okay, moving on from all the scores and awards, I'll talk about my activities. So I only got to give 4 activities. So I gave scientific research, and I talked about kind of the awards I've done, as well as just like some internships I've done. I've done a lot of time in the lab with research. And then also I talked about how I was an officer for my school science honor society. Second activity was debate team, and for that I talked about basically like what I did as an officer. I was secretary my sophomore year, vice captain my junior year, and I'm captain as a senior. And I kind of just talked about kind of like the awards I'd won, and also like why I personally joined, because I was scared, but now I'm not. And then this green bean. And then the third activity I did is I talked about robotics. I was part of my school's FRC team, and I took part in the electrical sub team and also the computer aided design or CAD subgroup. And then I just talked a little bit about the awards we'd won at regional and state competitions. And then the fourth activity I put down was kind of like my volunteer work with nonprofit organizations. So I helped co-found my like local chapter of Tal Talks, which was it's basically an organization that hosts free talks for people about like innovation, leadership, kind of little mini TED Talks type of deal. And I was like the co-founder and the logistics coordinator for that. And then I also was the regional director for Tal Talks as like a Southeast regional director-ish region. And then for I also talked about STEM Chats, which is another organization I'm part of. It basically for that I'm working as part of this like pre-collegiate research publication journal, and I help kind of we're establishing that program, so I'm a coordinator for the research journal over there, and I put that down as my 4 activities. And then they asked about stuff you did in the summer, so I talked about my internships and then also some courses I took. So I took a finance course and summer PE, which were both just like things I had to get over with in the summer. And then I also talked really fast. I talked about in my summer, after my sophomore year, I did a camp called YYGS, or Yale Young Global Scholars, in Biological and Biomedical Sciences. It was like a 2-week summer course, really fun, recommend. And then in the summer after my junior year, I went to this program at MIT called the Research Science Institute, or RSI, and that was a super amazing experience. Highly recommend you apply, it was super fun. And that was just like an internship with lectures and kinds of things like that. And I personally think that my stats were not what got me in. I'm pretty sure it was more like the recommendations, the activities, that kind of stuff. And the essays, so we'll move to that. In terms of the essays, my first essay was just basically tell us something you do for fun. And I talked about, I'm a big trivia nerd and Jeopardy nerd, so I talked about puzzles, card games, like Jeopardy, trivia, all that kind of fun stuff. The second one was kind of what do you want to major in at MIT, and I talked about basically all my research experiences in the past couple years and how I want to bring that in and work in like the Department of Biological Engineering, so something that like shows that you've done so had some experience in it before, and that you kind of know what you want to do and you have an idea of what you want to do. The third one was how you've contributed to your community, and for that one I talked about how I volunteered in a retirement home for the past couple years and how that's really been a really meaningful experience for me, but also how it's kind of helped me grow my passion for research. And then the fourth essay was describe the world you come from and how has that shaped your dreams and aspirations. For this one, it was a little bit tricky for me, but I ended up really liking this essay. It was basically about how I used to be a really shy kid, and then comedy, Panusha, get it? Anusha, but Panusha? Yeah. So comedy helped me come outside my shell, and how I used that like newfound confidence to do other things that I hadn't really had the courage to do before. And then the last one was a challenge you faced and how you overcame it. So for this one, I talked about I've been playing piano for a long time, and I talked about how I kind of had a hand problem and I wasn't really able to write or type just because it was so much repetitive motion, and I kind of talked about my journey to overcome that issue, and then also like physical therapy, all that kind of stuff. And I ended it with kind of finishing a piano piece that I've been working on for a long time, and I could finally finish after I fixed this issue. Yeah, so with the essays I tried to just show like different aspects of myself that probably really couldn't be seen by the application or like just by the stats or the activities, and kind of just wanted to focus on showing like all different parts of myself and make sure that I kind of put everything out there that I wanted them to know. So, oui, and oui, baguette.